is your question?
So, okay, the question is, after I learned a technique called frame shifting, is shifting yourself into a different version of you by asking a question. For example, can I sense a version of me who is the highest and best version in all of me, where in every single universe where I exist, and start to sense the physical sensation in your body, and the physical feeling will usually give you a affirmative answer. So in order for this to work, I had to be open to step into the unknown, because that's when the universe energy works. I can't use my mind to direct what I want to do. So I need to be very instinctual. So that means leaning into the unknown and also operate in the unknown. But at the same time, I feel like I'm not balanced enough, because right now life is pulling me into all different directions with all different opportunities every single day. While I'm trying to grab different things, I don't feel I'm centered and grounded. So I'm not sure which way should I operate in. I do want to step into the unknown category, but I also want to stay grounded on the earth. And at the same time, as you mentioned, when your time and space is no longer dense, you can invite more spirit guidance to guide you. I assume that is when you operate in the unknown space, but I just don't know which one to choose, or should I find a balance in between?
Amazing question. We have to find a balance in between, because
Okay.
we are both. And so I'm going to try and break this down as best I can. That's a lot. That's a lot to dive into, but I believe I have a consensus on what I need to say here. So first of all, the unknown is beautiful. It is necessary in order for us to feel everything. Not all of us have the capacity to feel consciously and connect consciously to everything. So we're building that capacity from the unknown. Okay. So it's like the blank canvas that we're going to paint. What am I going to paint? Well, I might not know. But if I start by sketching a mountain or sketching an animal, before I put the paint on the canvas, I start to lay out the guidelines. And so that's what we're looking to do in the unknown, is figure out the guidelines. We don't have to paint the full picture, but we are accepting that it's a blank canvas for us, that we can do anything through. Okay. In comparison to the logical, to the physical conscious, we have to connect in the physical conscious, as you stated, because then that creates the emotion, right? That creates the availability to feel if that's right or wrong for us, if that's truth for us, or if it's not truth. Okay. And so it can be very overwhelming if we're trying to, as I mentioned before, stay just in the light or just in the dark. We have to find that reciprocity of being in the pendulum swing that is balanced. Okay. Otherwise, if we swing too hard into the logical, the determined self, then we'll end up falling off and swinging harder into the mystical unknown. And that place of the unknown, sure, we learn a lot, just like we learn more from trauma than we do from love. It's a simple fact of the physical conscious. When we allow ourselves to swing extra hard, yeah, we can learn more, but it also is more devastating, more painful. Can it be used for us? Yes, but it can also hurt us so bad that we can't get back up. And so we want to find that balance of being in the mystical, the unknown, and accepting the blank canvas as an opportunity to graduate and slowly build that clear picture of what we can be based on the unknown, while accepting in the physical sense, in the conscious thoughts that are a part of our physical being, what it is that's determining that sketch in the unknown, that possibility of building up the truth from the unknown and being able to accept all things as they are, instead of being contradictory within ourselves or provoking things that are really hurting us more than teaching us. Again, we can learn from the pain, and we need to. We learn a lot from the pain. We learn more from the trauma. Our body consciousness holds on to the trauma even more powerfully than the happiness. But that's why the goal is happiness, because it's a present. It's an opportunity. It's a gift. And so even though we can look at the trauma as the pain, we can look at the unknown as a gift as well. We want to use that availability to connect beyond this dimension through all consciousness, through the unknown, to accept more and have more capacity to accept what our memories of our ancestry are telling us, to accept more of what our spirit guides are trying to do for us and give us and support and direction. But simultaneously, as you mentioned, we do have to play that role in the here and now, in the physical being of space-time. Even whatever density of space-time we're in, what availability we have beyond this dimension, we still have to be present in this dimension to accept it. We can't just stay in the mystical, in the unknown. We have to eventually have a knowing in order to solidify. And that's what gives us the knowing of being present. Just like when you were a spirit, and at some point you decided, okay, I'm ready. I'll join the vessel in this really low frequency dimension, and I'll live on planet Earth as Lynn. You know, you had to accept that agreement. You had to accept coming into this field, into this presence, this dense existence of the physical reality. We accept it. And we understand with electricity that cells come to life and accept life at 3.28 hertz. And so 328 hertz, however you break it down there, millihertz, or however it breaks down technically, it's 328 in electricity and the frequencies of electromagnetics that allow us to exist, which is why it's important to stay above that number energetically in this dense dimension if we don't want to start to destroy ourselves. And emotions, in the energy of emotions that are fear and pain, disgust, shame, guilt, all of these other lower frequency energies that we can hold on to with emotion can destroy us physically. But we do have to accept that in the physical first. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, nobody loves me. I'll never be successful. I'm just not smart enough. We might think that that's just us accepting it immediately in the heart, but the body is giving us that opportunity to say, am I? Do I? Can I? The heart gets to decide that after the fact, but the body feels it first in this dimension. From the traumas of your lineage, from not being able to connect to the spirits and the infinite possibilities of the mystical and the unknown, we do have to bring it to the known, and then we have to agree to it with the emotional conscious. Okay. And so hopefully that helps you.
It helps. It helps. I just don't know how to build a connection because I see
that's
the power of unknown, and the manifestation is instinct. It instantly give everything I wanted, and I become more and more greedy, trying to stay in there. And I try not to use my mind to plan, but I still feel like I need to be back.
Yeah, well, the mind is part of the physical, so it does have to initiate. We have to think about it, right? Just like you have to think about being in the unknown or not knowing. Excuse me. So it does start with the mind. It does start with the thought. It does start with the body accepting, because that's exactly what's happening. And then the emotional body truly has to accept it as truth or not, as something we can agree to or not. And then if we can agree to it, then we're in alignment. If we can't, and we're fighting within ourselves, now the physical mind and the physical consciousness is fighting with the emotional consciousness, and therefore we start to deteriorate because we're bringing the energy and frequencies of existence down within ourselves. And so it is a mechanical effort. And that is part of what we're going to be building throughout this process of learning with you, not just in this healing today, but in the opportunities of growth for the future. I will be helping you understand how to do that in practice and how that's going to benefit you throughout your whole life. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you.
You're very welcome.